Hi, my dear students, welcome back to another session. The today topic is regarding seed, one of the easy topic. Seed. Seed is a final product of the sexual reproduction. The seed is a final product of the sexual reproduction. It is also considered as fertilized ovule. After the fertilization of the ovule is become as a seed. Why the seeds are present? Seeds are present in within the fruit. Seeds are present in within the fruit. Most of the cases, the seed is consist one seed coat, cotyledon, embryonal axis, perisperm, and last one is micropyle region. So this is actually seed parts. Let's start the lesson. The seed is a final product of. It is a final product of sexual reproduction. SR, final product of sexual reproduction. It is also called as fertilized. It is also called as fertilized ovule. It is also called as what? Fertilized ovule. After the fertilization, ovule is become as seed. Where the seeds are present? Seeds are present within the fruit. Most of the cases, the seeds are consist following these parts. The first one is seed coat, and second one is cotyledon, perisperm, embryonal axis, micropyle regions, right? So generally the seed formation which is coming under post fertilization changes, most of the cases the seed which is consist seed coat, cotyledon, perisperm, embryonal axis and micropyle regions. Let's start with the cotyledon. The first heading is cotyledon. Right? According to the NCERT, cotyledons are thin as well as swollen. The cotyledons are thin as well as swollen in nature due to the presence of excess amount of food molecules. The cotyledons become as swell and thicker. And you know that if two cotyledons are present in the seed, that is dicots. If only one cotyledon is present, that is called as scutellum in monocot. If only one cotyledon is present, that is called as what? Scutellum. Right? The first point is, if two cotyledons are present, the seeds belong to dicot. If only one cotyledons are present, the seeds, such plant is belong to monocot plant. Right? Next point. In general case, the cotyledons are thick in nature as well as swollen, thick and swollen. Why they are swollen in condition? Because they consist of large amount of food material, nutritional material. Right? So here you know that generally the nutritional material is what? The nutritional material is endosperm. Based on the endosperm present as well as absent, the seeds are divided into two types. One is albuminous seeds, next one is non-albuminous seeds. Albuminous seeds is nothing but what? Endosperm seed. Non-albuminous seeds is nothing but what? Non-albuminous seeds nothing but endosperm is absent. Right? Based on endosperm present as well as absent, the seeds are divided into two types. One is endospermic seeds. Endospermic seeds is called as albuminous seeds. Non-endospermic seeds are called as non albuminous seeds, right? So let's discuss with the first one is non-endospermic seed. Non-endospermic seeds. Here the complete embryo which is going to develop during the complete endosperm is developed during the embryo development. So such seeds we can call as what? Non-endospermic seeds. The point here what you have to write, endosperm which is utilized during embryo development. So such is called as what? Non-endospermic seed. Example is we can write beans family, nothing but Fabaceae family, as well as castor also you can write. Sorry, beans as well as groundnut you can write. Next one is albuminous seeds. Albuminous seeds means क्या बेटा? Albuminous seeds means the seeds are consist endosperm. The seed is consist endosperm. The definition here endosperm is complete endosperm is not utilized. The complete endosperm is not utilized during the embryo development. So such seeds we can call as what? Albuminous seeds, nothing but what? Endospermic seeds. Example is most of the monocots. Maize, wheat, right? Most of the monocots are going to show the albuminous seeds. Next, so this is regarding what? Cotyledons. Next one is perisperma. Next part is perisperma. What is meant by perisperm? Perisperm means generally after the fertilization, during the embryo development, the nucellus part generally it is going to disintegrated or disappeared. But in some species, some amount of nucellus remains present within the ovule. Such remaining nucellus in the seed is called as perisperm. But generally what happens? Generally after the fertilization, during the embryo development, the complete nucellus is going to disappear. But sometime some amount of nucellus remains present in ovule. So such a remain portion we can call as what? Remaining amount of nucellus is called as what? Perisperm. Example is black pepper as well as beet, right? These are the best example for what? Perisperm. So next one is after perisperm, embryonal axis as well as micropyle region. Next third one is micropyle region. You know already what is micropyle region. So in ovule, integument is not going to cover in the one small position. So the small position we can call as what? Micropyle region. After the fertilization, also micropyle region remains like a spore only. It remains present. It remains present on seed. It remains present on seed like as a one small pore. So through this pore, water molecule is oxygen is enter into seed. So which is useful for during the seed germination. This water as well as oxygen is essential for seed germination. What is the point? Next, here generally micropyle region. Micropyle region is external pore on seed, small external pore on seed. So generally after the fertilization, the seed become as matured. The seed become as matured means the seed is going to completely dry. The matured seed is nothing but what? Complete dry seed. If the seed is completely dry, it doesn't mean that the embryo is not viable. Embryo is also going to become dry. Not like that. The dry seeds which are containing living embryo, the dry seeds which are containing a living embryo with less amount of only 10 to 15% of water molecules. Due to that, the embryo activity is very less activated, metabolically very less active. Gradually, which is undergoes the inactive stage that we can call as dormancy. What you have to write? Matured seeds are going to become as dry. The dry seeds are consist viable or living embryo, right? And within this embryo, the water percentage is very less. Water percentage is only 10 to 15% of water only present, right? So due to that, what happened? Due to that, the plant, so the embryo, it perform very less metabolism or less active. So gradually the embryo is going to get turned into inactive stage, temporarily inactive stage. So that stage we can call as dormancy. The stage we can call as what? Dormancy. When the seed is facing favorable condition, what is a favorable condition? Water is needed, gases, oxygen is needed, temperature, optimum temperature is needed. In such condition, what happen? Again the seed is become germinated and produce plumule as well as radicle. You know that the plumule is going to become a stem and radicle is going to become as what? Root, right? During the favorable condition, what are the favorable conditions? Water molecules are needed, oxygen is needed, and temperature, optimum temperature. During this condition, the seed is become germinated. The seed germinated and produced two parts. The one is plumule and second one is radicle. Plumule is become as shoot. Radicle is become as root. Right? So this is actually regarding micropyle region. One more part is seed coat. Seed coat here. Seed coat. So you know that already seed is what? The seed is a modification of the ovule is become as a seed. The ovule is containing integuments. The integuments is become as what? Seed coat. After the fertilization, the integuments is become as seed coat. Seed coats are generally tough in nature, which are going to protect the embryo which is present inside of the seed. The seed coats which are tough, due to this nature, they are going to protection to embryo which is present inside of the seed, right? So this is regarding seed as well as seed pods. After the fertilization, ovule is become as a seed, ovary is become as a fruit, and ovary walls are going to become as fruit walls. After the fertilization, ovule is become as seed, ovary is become as fruit, and ovary walls of the ovary is become as fruit walls. So generally these fruit walls we can call as pericarp. Generally these fruits wall we can call as a pericarp. In some fruits we can differentiate it. The pericarp is differentiated into three layers. One is epicarp, mesocarp as well as endocarp. The fruit wall is called as the fruit walls we can call as pericarp. We can call as what? Pericarp. In some fruits, this pericarp is differentiated into three layers. One is epicarp and one is epicarp, mesocarp, endocarp, right? Next, fruits are mainly divided into two types. One is seed producing fruits, one is non-seed fruits. Seeded fruits, non-seeded fruits. Seed fruits again divided into two types. One is true fruits and second one is false fruits. And true fruits we can divide into three types. One is simple, aggregated and composite. And the simple fruits again divided into two types. One is fleshy fruits as well as dry fruits. Let's see, the fruits are, this is actually fruits. The fruits are mainly divided into two types. The one is seeded fruits and seedless fruits. Seedless fruits, right? So these seed fruits again divided into two types. One is true fruits and one is false fruits. True fruits and false fruits. And these true fruits are again divided into three types. One is simple fruits, one is aggregated and one is composite fruits, right? And again simple fruits again divided into two types. The simple fruits which are again divided into two types. One is fleshy fruits and one is dry fruits. Fleshy fruits and dry fruits. And you know already how the fruit is formed. The fruit is formed from which? Ovary. Ovary is become as fruit. Seed. Seeded fruits. So these seed fruits which are formed after the fertilization. After the fertilization, you know that the ovule is become as seed and ovary is become as fruit. That is called as what? Seeded fruits. First one. Next, true fruits. What is true fruit and what is false fruits? True fruits means here the ovary is become as what? Fruit. After the fertilization, if ovary is become as a fruit, that is called as what? True fruit. If other than ovule pod is involved, other than ovary pod is involved in formation of fruit, so such fruits we can call as what? False fruits. True fruit here, ovary is become as, after fertilization, ovary is become as fruit. So such is called as what? True fruits. For example, mango, right? Next, false fruits. False fruits, it means that here other than ovary part, so maybe because thalamus is going to involve. Other than ovary is, other than ovary is become as, is developed as fruit. So such is called as what? False fruits. The best example, in apple you can notice that in apple, strawberry here, thalamus is going to become as, thalamus is developed as what? Fruit. Thalamus is developed as fruit. In case of apple, the best example is apple, right? So that we can call as what? False fruits. Next, simple fruits, aggregated fruits, composite fruits. Next one is simple fruits. So simple fruits means here after the fertilization, here one gynoecium or one carpel is become as one fruit. That is called as what? Simple fruits. Here only one fruit is formed. Only one fruit, nothing but one gynoecium is equal to one fruit. So such are called as what? Simple fruits. Next one is aggregated fruits. Aggregated fruits. So here aggregated fruits here best example is, in this case here, generally the ovaries we can divide into two types. Now one is like syncarpus based on the pistil number, syncarpus as well as apocarpus, fuse as well as free. Here apocarpus gynoecium, apocarpus, it is involved. Apocarpus gynoecium, which is going to become as what? Fruit. This such we can call as what? Aggregated. Apocarpus multicarpellary ovary is become as a fruit. That mycelia, right? That is, you can say, aggregated fruits. So these simple fruits are what? Syncarpus ovaries become as a fruit. Third one is compositive fruits. Compositive. Here, number of flowers are going to involve. Number of flowers is going to become as fruit, or a group of flowers we can call as inflorescence. Complete inflorescence is going to become as a one fruit. So such type of fruit we can call as what? Compositive fruit. The best example is pineapple. Here, complete inflorescence is become as one fruit. Here it means number of flowers are involved. The best example is pineapple. The best example is what? Pineapple. Clear? So such we can call as what? Compositive fruit. And here in NCERT is given, these simple fruits are given into two types. One is fleshy fruits, one is dry fruits. The simple fruit we can divide into two types. First one is what? Fleshy. And second one is what? Dry fruits. So fleshy fruits, what is the difference in between fleshy fruits and dry fruits? Only one difference is there. The major difference is here. Fleshy fruits pericarp is differentiated into mesocarp, endocarp, epicarp. Dry fruits pericarp is not differentiated into any further layers. And fleshy fruits, seed dispersal or dehiscence mechanism is absent. And dry fruits, the fruits which are going to show perform different dehiscence mechanism to spreading of seeds. That is actually major difference in between fleshy fruits to dry fruits. Got the point? The first point is fleshy fruits, the fruits pericarp is differentiated into three layers. One is epicarp, outermost layer of the fruit. Next mesocarp is middle fruit. Third one is epicarp, mesocarp, endocarp means what? Endocarp means it is inner. Next, the fleshy fruits which are not going to perform any dehiscent mechanisms, seed releasing mechanisms. And dry fruits here, pericarp is not differentiated. Pericarp is not differentiated. Pericarps are not differentiated. And they perform different types of mechanism, different types of seed releasing mechanisms. The fleshy fruits, the best example is, you can notice these three layers in tomato as well as in mango. This. And dry fruits are dates palm, like you can notice, right? So this is actually the fruit topic. And generally, next, the information regarding seed. The seed generally here, one is dehydration as well as dormancy. These two are very crucial for storage of the seed, right? And seed viability, the seed germination capacity, which is different in the different species. Some are maybe months, some are maybe years, some are maybe have the capacity more than 1,000 years also. right? Which are, one is dehydration, and second one is dehydration and second one is dormancy. So these both are can play a great role in storing of seed or seed storage, right? And seed germination capacity, which is differ in different species. Some are maybe months, some are maybe years, some are maybe 100 years, more than 100 years. For example, in NCERT, this example is given. One is lupin, lupinus, articus. These are fruits. So these fruits are, you can see, the seed generation capacity in thousands years. They have the capacity nearly 1000 years. After the 1000 years also they can easily like they can germinate. And recently the date palm, the seed generation capacity is 2000 years. Next, generally here we can notice in for which one, orchids. Orchid, one fruit which is containing of number of thousands of seeds are present in within the one fruit of orchids. Tiny seeds are present. Which point you have to write here? The point is orchids. Orchids, ORCHIDS, orchids. One fruit which containing nearly thousands of tiny seeds are present. One fruit which consists thousands of seeds. Like some parasites also be there. Varabanki, it is a parasite. In that parasites also be thousands of seeds are present in within the one fruit. Next topic is parthenocarpic, apomixis and polyembryology. So the first, what is parthenocarpic? Carpic means what? Carpic means it is fruit. So generally the fruit is a result of fertilization, right or not? The fruit is a result of fertilization, but in some species without fertilization fruits are formed. So such is called as what? Parthenocarpic. So these parthenocarpic fruits which do not consist seeds, we can call as seedless fruits. We can produce the seedless fruits by also application of phytohormones. Let's try the points. Parthenocarpic. Here generally fruit is a result of fertilization. Fruit is a result of what? Fertilization. But in some species without fertilization, without fertilization, fruits are formed. Right? So such phenomena is called as what? Parthenocarpic. So these parthenocarpic fruits which do not consist seeds. So such type of fruits also called as what? Seedless. It is called as seedless fruits. It is called as what? Seedless fruits. So these seedless fruits we can produce with the help of application of phytohormones, also application of chemicals. These fruits also we can produce by applying of chemicals. That chemicals or phytohormones also we can apply. The best example of seedless fruits are banana, grapes, right? So we can they're freely available in the market. Seedless mangoes, seedless banana, seedless grapes, seedless apples, which are commercial values are there, right? So these are called as what? Parthenocarpic fruits. Next topic is apomixis. Apomixis. Apo means what? Without. Mixing. So here seed, here you can see the fruits, the fruit is containing seed. So this seeded fruit is formed without fertilization, right? So that is called as what? Apomixis. The simple meaning is without fertilization seeds are formed in the fruits. So such type of production we can call as what? Apomixis, right? Let's put the heading apomixis. Apomixis. Apo means what? Apo means without, right? So here without means here what? Without fertilization. Without fertilization, right? So here without fertilization, without fertilization, without fertilization, seeds are formed. Seeds are formed in within the fruit. So such phenomena we can call as what? Apomixis, without mixing of gametes. It means fertilization is not takes place. Here the question is, sir, if fertilization is not takes place, how the seeds are going to form? And what is the pleiade of such plant or embryo? Right? Here mostly the pleiade is diploid here. Why? Because here egg cells are formed. Here egg cells. Generally egg cells are formed due to the meiotic division. Right? Generally egg cells are formed due to the meiotic division. Egg cells are haploid in condition. But in this case, without meiotic division, egg cells are formed. That egg cells are diploid in condition. So this diploid egg cell is directly developed as what? Embryo. So embryo is which stage? Diploid stage. Plant body also be diploid in condition. Go to the point. Here egg cell is formed without meiotic division. Without meiosis division, the embryo is formed, egg cell is formed without meiotic division. It means egg cell is which in condition? Egg cell is 2n in condition, diploid in condition. So this diploid egg cell which is directly undergoes number of time of mitosis division and become as and develop as embryo. Now what is the pleiade of this embryo? Diploid. Now the embryo is going to become as what? Sporophyte. Sporophyte plant. What is the pleiade? Diploid. Why? Because egg cell is what? Diploid. So like this, without fertilization seeds are formed. Apomixis. Apomixis. Right? So this is actually concept of apomixis. We can notice in some special plants, we can notice in grass plants as well as Asteraceae, R-A-C-E-A-E, Asteraceae plants. Right? They are going to perform this type of apomixis. Next concept is polyembryogeny. Polyembryogeny. So we know general concept is what? General concept is after the fusion of male and female gamete, it becomes as zygote. Zygote is become as embryo. Embryo is present in within the seed. Seeds are present in within the fruit. This is actually concept. But in this case, what happened here? After fertilization, one zygote is formed. That is a true zygote. So after that, here some new cellular cells which are diploid in condition, which are also be act as what? Embryo. So due to that, what happened? In within the one ovary, number of embryos are formed. So such condition is called as what? Polyembryogeny. This is the most common in citrus as well as mango. Here poly means what? More than one embryo. More than one embryo. More than one embryo is present within the one ovule. Within the one ovule. You know that the ovule is going to become as what? Seed. It means in one seed or one ovule, number of embryos are present. Number of embryos are present. The question is how these all are formed. So one embryo is formed due to the fertilization. Mostly one embryo is formed due to fertilization. Due to fertilization. And remaining embryos are formed from nucellus. Nucellus cell. Nucellus cells are which in condition? Diploid condition. Along with the embryo, this nucellus cells is going to become as embryo sac. Embryo sac. Embryo sac is containing egg cell. Egg cell which is undergoes mitosis division. Mitosis division and become as embryo. Become as embryo. Nucellus is which in condition? Diploid condition. So embryo sac also be here diploid, egg cells also be diploid, and embryo also be diploid. Like a number of embryos are formed in within one ovule or in within the one seed. The best example we can notice in mango. Mango as well as citrus. Mango as well as citrus we can notice it. Right? So this is regarding what? Parthenocarpic apomixis as well as polyembryogeny. Right? So here the apomixis actually commercially very useful to the plants. Commercially are used. Apomixis seeds. What is the main role of apomixis? So here generally if using of hybrids, by using of hybrids we can increase the crop production. By using of hybrids we can increase the crop production. But purchasing of hybrid seeds are very costly. The preparation of hybrid seeds, it is very costly to the farmer. Right? And you can see here, next point here generally, hybrid plants. Hybrid plant seeds we can't use it for next generation. Hybrid plant production of seeds, such seeds we can't use it for next generation. We can't apply the same seeds for next crop. Why? Because if you use such a hybrid seeds, the characters are going to segregated. The progeny the character is not going to stable. The progeny, the characters which are going to segregated. Different characters, different progenies are going to form. Right? So if you use this apomixis seeds, we can avoid such problem. That is actually main benefit of apomixis. Nowadays you can say the scientists are going to use it to get convert of these apomixis seeds into hybrid seeds. The point is what I have to write? Generally if using of hybrids, we can increase the crop production. Crop production. First point. But hybrids are very costly. It is very costly to the farmers. And these hybrid plant seeds we can't use for next generation. What is the problem? If using these hybrid plant seeds in the next generation, characters are what? The desirable characters are segregated. The desirable characters which are going to segregated, separated. So that's why hybrid plant seeds are not used for next generation. And every time the preparation of hybrid seeds is very costly. Right? So that's why if using of, in place of hybrid seeds, if using of apomixis seeds, it is very useful to the farmer. Right? Now the scientists are consider the investigation is going on how to getting convert of apomixis seeds into hybrids. Right? So this is actually complete chapter number 2. Right? And thank you all of you. Thank you my dear students.